So 6 months ago, I made the most chaotic makeup inventory video ever, and now it's time to do a mid-year update. I basically do this just to keep myself accountable, I guess, for what I buy, but also to be aware of what I have. I also just like seeing numbers and changes. Let's just get straight into the actual inventory, and the first category is something that was 0 last time, which is primers, and I think from now on I'm just not going to mention primers unless if I, for some reason, get one, but I do not plan on getting a primer anytime soon, nor do I think I want to, so we're just gonna pretend that category doesn't exist from now on. And moving on to something that wasn't a category last time, foundations. I had 0, I didn't think I'd have any more, but then I bought one. I'm wearing it. I'm just trying things out. I'm not feeling too bad about that. It's just a foundation. Yep. Moving on to concealers, I kind of had a very high number, at least for my standards. Last time I had 5. Granted, one of those was a bunch of color correctors that I used up really quickly, but now I am down to 3 because I believe I used up 3, and then I got 1 as a gift because I asked for it just as a backup. Yeah, I know I will be able to at least finish 1 of the 3 by the end of the year. I'm not sure about the e.l.f. one. Is a bit dark for me, so I use it as a color corrector or underneath my foundation to add some more coverage to areas. I'm not too upset about that category considering I go through concealers fairly quickly and I know I'll get around to everything I have. Moving on to face powder. This category, I had 1 last time. I finished up what was left in that compact, however, I do have a good amount of it frankened into a bronzer I made, so, and I think another Franken eyeshadow. Once I finish the bronzer, I will consider the powder done. If I don't finish that Franken eyeshadow, I'm still gonna consider it done because there is not that much in the eyeshadow, and it's just too complicated. So, I still have it in my inventory, that's why in the picture, it's not a face powder I could use as a face powder, but it's in that compact, and that is the compact that the original powder was. Anyways, I bought 2 powders. One's a mattifying one, one's a bit more glowy, and I'm kind of enjoying having both, trying to navigate which one I prefer. Speaking of bronzers, for my bronzer slash contour category, I had 1, and again, it is in that Franken. There wasn't a ton of product in the bronzer initially, but now that it's been Franken to death, it's pretty significant. And I say I have 2, even though you can see 3 pans in the picture, because the Contour Duo from Essence, the only way it works for me is if I mix the 2 colors together, and so I don't view them as 2 separate colors. I just view them as that's my one contour. I plan on eventually probably franking them together just so I don't have to dip back and forth, but right now that's not my focus shade because I'm really focusing on the other Franken. I'm not sure if it's a Franken bronzer or contour at this point. I'm wearing it now. The color is a little bit too red toned, I feel. I don't know. I don't know what I want anymore. Who really does? You know, let's think about this philosophically. Just kidding. Let's just say I haven't got that much sleep in the past 2 days. And it's my fault. It's 100% my fault. Yesterday, I woke up and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I had 3.5 hours of sleep. That's really bad. So I don't know why I stayed up late. Like, my brain doesn't know how to function. And now I'm rambling. I gotta finish this before I pass out. I don't know. I still have homework to do. I'm doing great. Basically, in summary, everything is fine. Moving on to blushes. Now, it's another category that has changed a bit. It has grown, however, I am not worried about it, even though I want to keep it at 8, which it was at last time. I decluttered one of the shades, which I kind of repressed from a palette and put it underneath the layer of compact, so I had like 2 pictures you can see. I decluttered that, and then I bought 1 blush, and then I got 1 for my birthday, so now I'm at 9. However, that little lip balm tube has my Franken cream blush, which I will definitely have done by the end of the year. Yeah, I will definitely be back down to 8, and I feel like 8 is just the perfect number for me. I don't know why, but it's just how I like it. I feel like I have a good spread of a cooler tone, pinky, mauve shades, and then some peachy, warm shades. I have kind of a decent spectrum, and there's honestly not a single blush that I've looked at in the past, I don't know how many months, where I was like, oh yes, I want to add that to my wish list. Like, at one point I was like, I want blush, oh my gosh, all these blushes look so pretty, and then all of a sudden, once I got the ones on my wish list, I just stopped caring about blush. So I think that's a sign that I should stay here. And I feel like I'm rambling way more than necessary, and again, it's probably due to sleep deprivation, but we're gonna ignore that. Moving on to highlighters, this is an interesting category. I had one last time, I technically had two, but one of them I put in my eyeshadow category because I just couldn't enjoy it as a highlighter. I don't know what it was, I just couldn't figure it out. I ended up decluttering that, but that wasn't in the highlighter category. Anyways, but I got 2 more highlighters for my birthday, so now I have 3. I'm really happy with what I have, except one of them, I'm not sure if it's too dark. I don't know how well you can see in the picture, but there's one, I think it's in the center, that's a little bit deeper, and I'm still trying to figure it out. If it is too dark, I might declutter it, I might not. I did realize that I'm kind of dumb because the middle one is slightly different than I thought it would be in color, but I have like the really pale pink one, which I already had, and then I got the really pale champagne-y gold one, and I realized if I want a neutral, I can literally dip my brush into both of them, and then it's like a neutral champagne. So I didn't exactly need a third one. Not sure if that middle one will stay in the long run, but I'm still figuring out, and I'm happy with what I have. I'm not someone who's super into highlighters. I'm definitely more of a blush person than I am a highlighter person. So yeah. Moving on to eyeshadow primers, nothing has changed in number. However, I did finish my Milani one, and then I bought a new one. So I still have 2, even though one of them is new. That's the first eyeshadow primer I've ever finished, by the way. And oh boy, it took a long time. Now for larger eyeshadow palettes, I had 10 at the beginning of the year, and now I have 12 because I did buy 2 BH Cosmetics palettes. Still don't regret that, by the way. I know I broke my low buy rules, but I'm still happy about it. So yeah, a slight increase, but I'm still really happy with what I have. And again, like blushes, once I got those, I haven't been interested in like any palette. That's a slight lie. There was this one brand, I can't remember what they were called. It's an indie brand, but they made an Orpheus and Eurydice palette that looked stunning. But to be fair, I have a lot of shades similar to those because they're definitely ones I'm drawn to. They're like pinky rosy shades and then green shades. The main reason I was really drawn to it was because, I mean, it's Orpheus and Eurydice, but the illustration is so stunning. And one of my favorite musicals ever is Hadestown, and it is based on the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, and it is gorgeous, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a green palette with Orpheus and Eurydice. Anyways, I had to talk myself out of that. I'm like, Anna, you're being dumb. You're being the thing that you like tell others and what you don't want to be. You're like, oh, you're just buying it for the theme, the packaging, how lame. And I'm over here just like, if there's a brand that released palettes in collaboration with musicals, I would be so screwed. It would be over, man. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with where I am on that eyeshadow category. I'm not too mad about it growing, especially because eventually I do want to use up 2 of those Wet n Wild palettes, and so I'd be back down to 10. But also eventually I'd like to just depot all of my eyeshadow palettes so I don't have eyeshadow palettes, I just have singles. And I'm rambling again. I would like to eventually just consider counting things by like the eyeshadow pan instead of palettes, especially because palettes, they vary so much in number, so saying I have 12 palettes could mean I have 100 shadows or 300 shadows. Like, it varies. Speaking of eyeshadow palette sizes, for mini eyeshadow palettes, nothing has changed. I still have the same 2, and I don't find myself wanting any other mini eyeshadow palettes. Ooh, okay, so this next category is actually really exciting. There is a part of it where I'm really confused about how I counted things, because there are 2 that aren't accounted for, and I have no idea how they existed or where they came from, so I'll explain. Anyways, so my eyeshadow singles, I had 48, and a majority of them were from this big palette. I counted them as singles because I just didn't consider it a palette. I don't know, I just viewed them as singles, especially because I decluttered half the palette, because they were like, there were so many just matching charcoal grays, and I'm like, what? I know this is a cheap palette, but did you have a, did anything make sense when you were doing this? Like, I don't understand. Anyways, so I had 48, and because I decluttered 2 eyeshadows, and then I used up several as like contours and brow powders, and also as eyeshadows, I was able to get down to 26. Now, when I counted how many things I used up and how many things I have, I'm pretty sure there were like 2 numbers that I don't know where they, like what, I feel like I should have had 46 last time. I don't know. I'm still confused, but now I'm at 26. So hopefully I can get this number, well, I don't know if I want to get it down by next time, because I kind of want to ask for a bunch of Sydney Grace and Clarity Cosmetics eyeshadow singles for my birthday, because I'm tired of wanting a palette because of a few shades. I just want the shades I want, but it's expensive to do singles, so I might have that as a gift. So my singles category, I don't know, will shrink by next time, but there are definitely ones I want to finish. There are 7 frankened into that bronzer, so when I finish that bronzer, I will have a powder, a bronzer, and 7 eyeshadows out of my collection. So I'm really hoping I can finish it by the end of the year, because that would be amazing. So I definitely want to use up a ton of my singles. That's what I'm focusing on this year. However, I might have more in quantity by the end of the year, because I might ask for some Christmas presents. Speaking of which, my total eyeshadow pan number I thought would be helpful, because again, saying I have 12 palettes really isn't that specific. So last time I had 176 pans of eyeshadow, and now I have 189. So I increased by 13 despite using up, I think, around 15 eyeshadows, maybe a bit more. But I did buy 2 palettes with 16 pans in each, so that means I added 32. So considering I added that many, the increase of 13 isn't too shabby. Yeah, I definitely don't want to ever go over 200. I'm pretty sure last time I probably said I eventually wanted to get down to 150. I don't think that's going to happen. I've had a change of heart. I like a variety of colors, but over 200 sounds way too much, so I definitely want to keep it under, because I can't use that much eyeshadow in my lifetime. So yeah, I'm not mad at 189, but there are definitely shadows that I really want to use up, so it'll be interesting to see how the numbers pan out in the next few years. Here's another category where I had none last time and the past year, but now I have 3, and that is eyeliners. I decided I just wanted to try them out. I'm actually wearing the nude one on my lower waterline. I think it does make my eyes look, you know, wider and more awake. I think I like the effect. And the dark ones are fun for grungy looks or just to line the upper lash line. I'm still experimenting. I don't exactly use them all the time, especially because I don't usually leave the house, because I'm doing online school. But also it is on average like 110 outside every day, so I haven't exactly been motivated to leave the comfort of air conditioning, because I would melt, and I almost actually had heat exhaustion when I had to go to the zoo for my bio lab, and I'm not bitter that they keep on making me go outside in the heat when they damn well know that most of us are in Arizona, because this is an Arizona community college. So why are you making me go out on field trips when there's no air conditioning in these places? Anyways, it's fine. Wasn't my fault that I definitely should have taken more breaks, and I just kept going because I wanted to leave. And then by the time I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh my gosh, there's air conditioning in here, all of a sudden I felt like I had to throw up, and I just like sit in the stall, because I was like, Anna, you probably should have like taken a break so you don't feel awful, because it's 110 outside. I don't know why anyone was at the zoo that day. You took your kids today? Willingly? Why would anyone be here on a day like this willingly? I was talking about makeup, wasn't I? How did I get here? I was talking about eyeliners. I don't even know. Anyways, mascaras, I did increase by 1. and I had one last time. Now I have two because I bought a clear one, hoping that it would help prevent smudging. Interestingly enough, I tried to put it on top of mascara to make it not smudge, but I found that if I use it as like a primer underneath, it actually would help prevent smudging more, but that also could be partially because the mascara that smudges is drying out, so I don't know. I'm actually really close to finishing that clear mascara. There wasn't much product in there. I used up one half and I'm really close to finishing the other, but I didn't feel like rushing because I definitely want to bring that with me on my trip so that I don't have really smudgy mascara, even though the trip will be like 3 days. But yeah, I have a feeling I'll have to buy a new mascara in the next month or two. So yeah, I probably won't have two next time unless if I have a backup or something. But yeah, I'm like a little annoyed that it increased by one because of dumb reasons, and mascaras shouldn't smudge, and I just want to find a perfect mascara. Is it too much to ask for perfection? I don't know, man. Moving on to brow products. Now I have two, same as last time. Last time I had a different e.l.f. Wow Brow. I used that one up actually today, which was interesting, and so now I just have two. I know I'm filming this and updating this a little bit later than halfway through the year, but like, what's 1 week? Is it really relevant? So yeah, but the same place, I like having powder and then brow gel, even though this powder I won't get to working on for a hot second because there are several brown eyeshadows in my singles category that I'd like to get out first. But yeah, it's kind of a boring category. I'm not someone who needs a ton of variety when it comes to brow products. So moving on to tinted lip balms, nothing has changed. I still have the same three. I am working on one of them, or at least I was until I reached my goal. I don't know if I'll have one of them done by the end of the year, but I'm definitely going to be working on two within this year. I might have one done, I might not. I don't want to like force or rush things. I think having 3 tinted lip balms is a really good number for me, but I'm not the fastest at finishing up lip products, so I don't think I will buy any new ones for at least probably a year or something like that. Lip liners, nothing has changed. I still have the same one. Used it today to help me sketch out my lip line. I just find it really helpful because I'm really bad at putting on lipstick. No, seriously, I mean, I'm getting better, but another category that went up by 1 is my lipsticks. I had 6, and then I bought one which is like a nude color, and now I'm at 7. I think the most I would ever want would be 10 at a time because, let's be honest, I don't think I'll ever finish a lipstick. Maybe the nude one I bought because it's very soft and it seems like something that I could finish easier than like the bright ones, but I'm just not a lipstick panner person. I'm much more comfortable panning lip gloss, tinted lip balm, but lipstick, that's too much commitment and they move too slowly for me. But there are a few on my radar. I do plan on making an updated wishlist video, just because there are a few things. Last lip product category is lip gloss. Again, nothing has changed. I'm working on 2, and I really hope that I will at least have 1 done by the end of the year. I'm learning that I don't think I need 4 lip glosses. I think max would be 3, but I'm fine with what I have for now, and I think I'll be able to use them all up before they expire, hopefully. Though there is one in there that isn't my favorite. I don't hate it, so I'll probably use all of them up. Now let's get to totals and all my breakdown categories. If you count all the things I have, including every single, then I have 85, and 6 months ago I had 95, so yo, a drop in 10. However, if you were to not count the singles as a category, just because, you know, that's a lot of single eyeshadows and you could technically have that many in an eyeshadow palette, so I just dropped the category to see what the change was, and I had 47 last time and 59 now. Oh, that makes sense, yeah, because I bought a bunch of things and the majority of that number drop would have come from me using up a bunch of eyeshadow singles. So when it comes to non-eyeshadow singles, I don't I'm not even close to 100, which is kind of fun. I wouldn't ever want to have like 100 makeup items, especially if they're, I mean, eyeshadows are a different story. When you include eyeshadow pans, because I did talk about how I have 189 eyeshadow pans, so if you include every single like pan of product and tube of product, except for the Essence Duo, because I still view that as one, then I had 223 last time and 248, which again, unsurprising considering I bought 32 eyeshadows worth of 2 palettes. That was a weird way to word it, but I don't know, I just thought the number was interesting, if you care. Now let's get to the cruelty-free status breakdown. Now, my relationship with cruelty-freeness is kind of always changing, because everyone considers different things cruelty-free, and I've just come to the conclusion that, yeah, I don't want to support brands that are complacent or utilize animal testing when it's not necessary, but also there are so many worse things that a brand can do, so I'm trying to be consistent in terms of like what brands I support in terms of ethics, but obviously there's no true ethical consumption under capitalism. Every brand is gonna have flaws, so yeah. I started my cruelty-free journey like 2-ish years ago, so I figured I'd continue on. I like seeing the numbers. So when it comes to my non-cruelty-free products, I had 47 6 months ago. Again, most of those were eyeshadow singles, and now I have 25, so that is a big significant change. Again, most of them are eyeshadows. So if you compare my percentage of how many non-cruelty-free products I had last time compared to this time, keep in mind I did buy a significant amount of makeup, so the percentage is going to shrink either way, even if I didn't use any of my non-cruelty-free products up, because I am buying a bunch of cruelty-free. Again, what truly is cruelty-free, but I'm buying a bunch of those things, and so it's gonna shrink, but also I did reduce it in numbers. So I had 49.47% of my collection was non-cruelty-free last time, and that was just because singles, yeah, the singles really just ruined things. But now I'm at 29.41, so that is approximately a 20% reduction, so that's pretty exciting. And if you're curious, if you don't count any eyeshadow singles in my collection, again, because the numbers just really change things because of how it's counted, then I had 17.02% last time, and now I'm at 10.17%. That is everything. I'm not sure how I want to set this up because I do have like my Excel sheet with my inventory, and I don't know if you want to see the numbers that way, but I also want to show pictures, so I think I'll probably just put up a picture now. Like this is my inventory spreadsheet, how things are changing, in case you're interested at looking at the numbers. I do have a system of yellow if it's increased compared to last time, and blue if it decreased. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. I know I really enjoy watching inventory videos for people that I watch regularly. I just find the number difference is fascinating. I wish that this update was more satisfying in a sense of all these numbers dropping, but to be fair, a lot of my categories, it's like I don't really have much to drop from when I have like 2 or 3 of an item, so I don't know how much I expected in terms of like satisfying changes. But I definitely think there are gonna be more drops in numbers next time, because I am on a no-buy and the only thing I plan on buying in the next 6 months is a mascara, so we'll see where my numbers are then, except for the whole eyeshadow single thing. I probably will have a lot more eyeshadows next time. But it's eyeshadow, so it's fine. I'm sorry that my brain is a bit everywhere. Maybe it's just tradition. That I'm just a little bit more chaotic in these inventory updates, but hey, I haven't started singing Mulan yet, so is it that chaotic? With that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye!